Guilty Gear Strive Counter.
Okay. Let's talk about this real quick. I do hate Guilty Gear Strive, but this is not a long essay video I made just to shit on the game for 20 minutes straight. The concept of this video is something I proposed to Qiom as a joke at 11 PM on a random Tuesday in January of last year while begging for my favorite fighting game at the time to get rollback. If I really wanted to state how I felt about Strive in an edited video, that video already exists, and it's only 4 seconds long.
I know what you are!
To be honest, this video should be called Guilty Gear Strive Sucks, to me, and that's okay, but I'm already struggling for clicks as it is. I mean, just objectively, Guilty Gear Strive looks amazing visually, and there's so much love put into the music and character design in my opinion. When this game was teased for the first time, it was referred to as Guilty Gear 2020, and I remember saying to so many people how badly I wanted to play it. I wanted to love this game. But it just didn't work out that way, so after trying for some hours, and maybe 100 hours and getting to floor 10 isn't enough for you and that's fine, I realized I just didn't like so many aspects of the game, so I just couldn't play it. Fuck if I'm gonna commit 500 hours of my life to a fighting game I don't like for the second time. Anyway, previous wants withstanding, I don't like this game, but I didn't feel making an entire video of me just saying I hate it was helping anything. So when trying to figure out exactly how to make good on the commitment I made on a whim, I talked to 5 fighting game players.
Hello, my name is James Alderson.
Hi, my name is AlexR.
My name is Hakuyer, or Mark, if you want to be on a first name basis.
Hey, I'm Ghostbody.
Hey, Qiom from the future here. Kelly forgot to tell me to introduce myself, so I'm recording this a year later.
And also 2 VTubers.
Hello, my name is Jayton. I am a Tengu VTuber.
Hi, everyone. You guys call me Zan.
And realized despite all of them being more invested in the game than me, we all sort of had similar grievances. I know this is a long preamble to the video, but I hope you can stick it out with me to the end, even if I said something bad about your favorite fighting game. Without further ado, here's Guilty Gear Strive Sucks. Also, all these interviews are a year old. This was a massive undertaking.
That is bullshit.
Alright, so let's address the elephant in the room. This footage is all from the first half of 2023.
Happy Chaos.
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 That's definitely some fucking old ass footage. Jesus Christ, Kelly.
If you're in the comments like, this isn't a problem anymore, or wow, you know nothing, you're not exactly wrong. Either way, my issues with Strive were what they were, and I don't really have a desire to give it a 4th shot. Again, I promise this is going somewhere, but I do want to be clear that if you love the game, I have nothing but respect for you, even if you're in this deep and still hate watching. And, just so we have an understanding, we'll start on a good note. As I mentioned earlier, the character design is fantastic. Though some of these characters have always existed, the updated character designs included, all of the characters clearly have love and passion in their look. I'm particularly a massive fan of Happy Chaos' visual design and his in-game personality, all jokes aside. While I personally don't have much more to say about the game other than being happy with its creative approach to music, I can't say the same for our control group here, and I'll let them speak for themselves.
Okay, things I like about Guilty Gear. The character designs fuck. The music fucks. The art fucks. Like, from a visual and audio perspective, like purely the art parts. This is insane. This game is incredible. I still listen to the Guilty Gear soundtrack almost daily. I fucking love the music.
Clean hit DP is funny. And even if you do block it, I can make it safe with Roman cancel.
It's to me, Strive is like the junk food of fighting games. Is that like bag of chips that you pick up and you're like, I'm kind of in the mood for just some shitty food right now, and you just eat it and then you throw it away. And you just boot up Strive, you play a little bit, and then you just put it away.
The fact that it's packaged with Lord Daisuke's newest album. The one thing that's still consistent across all the games is that the music is still a banger. Like, even with the lyrics, like most of them not making any like a fucking sense. I love the way that they fucking present like the music in this game.
That the combos were simpler. Like I feel like the combo routes were simpler than like something in like Rev, like Extra Rev or Rev 2. The fact that it's like a game like in Xrd, like in the Xrd days, like it was not a game that everybody was like signing up for in the tournaments to play in bracket, and that it's completely flipped basically. Like, you know, it was even like topping like Street Fighter numbers and stuff like that, like in Evo or in like other tournaments like CEO and stuff like that. So I really like that aspect, that like an anime game is like actually like fully mainstream now.
I feel like Guilty Gear lets you have a lot of expression in neutral, especially in being able to stop things with the roaming canceling system, and also being able to get out of pressure using the burst system. It still has the same essence of freedom, which is what I really enjoy about Guilty Gear. Freedom. You get to do whatever the heck you want to do.
So when it comes to Strive, the thing that I like the most is literally just looking at it. Graphically, the game is very, very impressive. Also, frankly put, easily one of the best lines out of that game is just Ino telling you to be her bottom bitch.
Obviously, I'm also not the only one with a favorite character in the game either.
My favorite character in Guilty Gear Strive is probably Bridget. I just really like her aesthetic. I really like her playstyle. I think using yo-yos is like a really unique thing. And I like Bridget's theme. And I like all of Bridget's lines. So I just seeing Bridget on the screen, I think just puts me in a good mood.
Definitely Kai. I don't know what it's about Kai, because like Kai is just like one of like the show of the game, but he's just based. I don't know. Like I like his moveset.
Alright, my favorite thing in Guilty Gear Strive is Soul Bad Guy. The reason is I just like, again, being an asshole with DPs. Card DPs doing it shit ton damage and doing meaty DP on people's wake up.
Testaments is pretty cool. Having them back is pretty dope, and being able to like trick play with the succubi is kind of cool.
I mean, ride or die Leo, man. I've been ever since I started Xrd, I've played Leo.
My favorite character, at the very least for playing, is Mei. I love just throwing dolphins at people. There is no thought beyond that. I literally, when I was thinking of like, oh, what character to play, picking a main was me listening to the OST and be like, I like this song. Whose is this? Oh, this one throws dolphins. She's got an anchor. She throws whales, orcas. Girl's got SeaWorld in her pocket.
If I had to pick my most favorite character in Guilty Gear, or at least specifically Strive, I think it probably would be Kai. Yeah, it's got to be Kai. He's just so fun, and he has a dragon install now. And not only that, he has a lot of the fun stuff that he had before. He hasn't been changed like a humongous amount, and his rolls are really cool. So I really kind of resonate with that, and riding the lightning, that's always fun too. So yeah, I think he's probably the character that I have the most fun with, even though he's not a character that I main.
Shit, I mean, egg on my face, this was all recorded while Happy Chaos was the most hated character in the game, and still, when directly asked about their least favorite character, only 2 people very directly said,
My least favorite character in Strive is Happy Chaos because he's just top tier. I picked him up because of that exact same reason. He's an asshole.
Happy Chaos, hate him.
And only 1 person directly said,
nerf Happy Chaos. That's definitely like the biggest thing, I feel like.
Most of the earlier joke is me replicating this.
No! Hey, you're doing that thing again where you take everything I say out of context. You're trying to make it look like I think Coolsville sucks. No! Don't record that!
All Fred Jones had to say was,
I think Coolsville sucks.
in light of the
I kind of don't count Happy Chaos because I feel like that's kind of like the universally hated character.
I would rather fight 15 Happy Chaoses in a row in comparison to having to fight against 2 Bridgets.
When we talk about Happy Chaos, I mean, he's a completely different character. And to be honest, I did not get a lot of opportunity to play him in ranked because at that time I just kind of filtered away from that game because KOF 15 came out.
A few minutes later.
Happy Chaos.
Happy Chaos.
Happy Chaos.
See? To be honest, the strength of one individual character in this game is not at all the reason why I don't like it, and my thoughts on it, while less enthused than our friends here, more or less echoed what the others said at first. Look, when I played Strive for the first time, I didn't find any characters that I actually enjoyed playing, so I dropped it, but not out of any vitriol. I just simply didn't find a character that I really enjoyed playing, and didn't really realize until later that it was because a character for the most part only changes the way you interact with the core gameplay, and to me, I'm just not a fan of the core gameplay.
I think Strive gets really boring really quick in the sense that I feel like every character feels flowcharty in Strive. There's it's going back to the whole not a lot of freedom to do what you want. Like it's a very rigid game, so that's why it starts boring me. Like it's one of those games that I'll boot up, I'll like turn off my brain, and I'll just do things, and like win or lose, I just don't really think about it too much.
But I came back a little while after Jacko was released, and I remember thinking she was so fun, and when I got a knockdown I could try out all these setups with the minions. For a while, the game was honestly pretty fun. But the honeymoon phase eventually ended. I realized the strength of grabs.
I just keep pushing buttons, and when I don't know what to do, I grab them. Because grabbing beats fucking everything in this game. They're throwing a projectile? Fuck it. Jump over them. Grab. They're dead. They're running at you? Grab them. They're going low? Grab them. There's no wrong answer with the grab. It's gross.
And I also eventually realized how that applied to command grabs as well.
I think that's what like attributed to my dislike for Potemkin, is because like it felt like I was trying to like do what I can, like if I was playing Soul or Kai, like wake up DP, like try and do something to get out of that situation. But like there was so limited defensive options going against grapplers.
And sure, maybe for you, an invincible DP losing to a 2-frame grab might not be that big of a deal, but to me, it strongly breaks the principle that is the meaning of a character having a DP. I shouldn't have to get thrown in a strike throw situation where I choose the third option of an invincible wake-up DP, only for my instincts from any other fighting game under the sun to cause me to lose that situation. But it wasn't just that, obviously. I started to realize that air dashes gave you less plus frames than a normal jump in, that I was playing an anime fighter with characters that just didn't have real high-low mix-ups in it. And sure, ask me for my XR or plus R hours to make fun of me, and you can even have the screenshot. But I was not gearing up to play this anime fighter for my combos to be this short string into a strike throw gallery for the match. Surely there's more nuance in this game than here, but at its core, it's just such a shell of the small look I took at AlexR, as well as other anime fighters comparatively. And I'm not the only one who became dissatisfied over time either.
I feel like there's not a whole bunch of expression in terms of the characters. Feels like a lot of the mechanics that were added on from other games were just kind of scraped off through accretion, which I can totally understand. But it also feels like there's an optimal way of playing Strive, and if you don't do the optimal thing, then there's not really a whole bunch of benefit to doing it. For example, there's like one specific route for a particular character, and once you do that particular route, there's nothing else that you can do.
I do get the idea of grappler characters and characters that grab to punish, but in a game where grabbing is already like the best option, I feel like if I so much as jump, he's like, oh, I'm gonna 0 to death you right now. And it sucks because like almost every person I play with plays Potemkin. You guys need to stop.
I think the first gripe is how simplified it is versus the other Guilty Gears. When I did dabble with them before, it always seemed like they were so full life, or this one just being so bland.
First and foremost, I don't like the UI. Like, just looking at the visual design of the start of the game, it feels understated for a Guilty Gear title. The way that the health bars end up taking or looking whenever you end up taking someone's life, or the way that the meters look, everything has this really weird, like, basic look, which works to a very small extent because it is kind of trimming things down for newer players, but at the same time, it's just like we are used to seeing far more embellishment in this. Like, where is my proper metal / dad rock bullshit?
For one, loss of Gatling. Coming from Accent Core and Rev and Revelator, I kind of hated the fact that the dial-up wasn't there. It made it kind of similar to like a link-based game, which I'm not like totally opposed to. Like I play a decent amount of Street Fighter 4, but like I'm not like with how Guilty Gear has been presented in previous, it definitely turned me off.
I don't like the wall breaks. Like I know people were like, "Oh, you'll get used to them." I never got used to them, and I think especially as a grappler, you know, like losing that pressure in a lot of matchups ends up like sucking real bad because you just lose that pressure right away, and I just don't think that. I think it's a very anti grappler thing for the game.
Characters I usually dislike in fighting games would be like grapplers, especially with like Guilty Gear with Potemkin. Like the fact that his like command grab just does so much is just like really annoying, and it's like not. I wouldn't say it's like completely unfair. It's just like it just kind of irks me. It irks my mental. And then obviously like Happy Chaos. Happy Chaos is just stupid, broken.
I want to get to the bottom line, and let me be serious. Get this damn game off my screen for a second. I didn't record 7 players worth of interviews about their thoughts on this game just to hate. Lord knows the footage was a nightmare to comb through and an even bigger nightmare to edit. This game came off the heels of the world going through a serious global pandemic. Things mattered more to us at that time, things that seem so small now. I know I was going through major changes in life at the time, and I'm sure you were too. But slowing down with Skullgirls and then picking up this game I was so excited for and then not liking it, I started to think, maybe I just don't like fighting games anymore, and that thought was scary. Then, through the next year, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Tekken 7, King of Fighters 15, and Granblue Fantasy Versus all proved to me that that wasn't true. I was just playing a game that I didn't just dislike, but hated so many aspects of. And when a game makes you feel like this, you shouldn't play it. And hey, maybe I'm thinking there are more people that have felt this way or somewhere similar about any game than there actually are, but doing these interviews made me realize how many people I knew that in some form just played Strive because other people played it. It's such a shame because the beautiful artistic direction, both in appearance and musically, led to so many people completely new to fighting games to play the game, and I'm in the back of my mind thinking if it was any other fighting game, any one, I'd play it with all of you. So for myself, and anyone else who may feel like they're just playing Guilty Gear Strive, or any game, just because others are playing it, just listen to what our friends have to say one more time.
Okay, for you questionable persons who still are trying to play Strive in this current year, whatever year it may be, here's a couple things. So you can your general idea of how to do combos is good. You can go play Under Night in Birth. You can manage to end up getting a little bit better of idea with combos depending on which character you're using. If you want to do your ranged Happy Chaos bullshit, Batista's a significantly better character. You can just do it there.
All right, so like a game that I feel that if you wanted to branch out from Strive, you could pick up very easily. Would it be wrong to say Marvel versus Capcom Infinite? People have very strong opinions about Infinite, but Infinite is like probably like my second most played game behind Skullgirls. Like, yeah, the roster sucks, but like in terms of like hype, but in terms of its playability, it's probably one of the more accessible Marvel vs. Capcom games. It's actually one of the only Marvel vs. Capcom games that has rollback.
Kind of Tekken 7. Like, it is like pretty different. You know, it's a 3D game. There's a lot of different like mechanics to deal with and stuff like that, like sidestepping and like carrying backdash and stuff like that. But like the feel of like the satisfaction I feel like is at the same level. Like once you like actually learn your character and like learn your combos and like everything like that, I feel like the level of satisfaction that you would get in Strive is kind of equal to Tekken 7.
So, if I had to recommend a game for any particular person that's played Strive before and has a similar feel. If you're in older games, I would say the King of Fighters 13 has a very similar system in the drive cancel system, so you can cancel a special into another special. And that's really cool because then that opens up a whole bunch of different routes that you can do in that game, and also it's super duper fun and highly technical. It's fast, it's great. If you want a more modern KOF, try KOF 15. KOF 15 is a really fun game. It does have a lot of expression, and the neutral is a whole lot stronger. It does not have Roman cancels, but I feel like if you are very good at neutral and you also like a wealth of characters as well as different ways of playing, then you'll really enjoy a lot of the characters in KOF 15.
Let's be real. You all knew what I was going to say about this anyway.
It's funny because I actually really do think that if you want something that's in the similar vein as Guilty Gear Strive, but you don't feel like playing Strive, I think Granblue Fantasy Versus is like a great game because it's an anime fighter that's more grounded. It's also very rigid in a lot of aspects, but it has its own identity, and mechanically it knows what it wants to do, and I think that it strives to make things easier in a way where newcomers can come in, but it won't mess with veterans, and you can still apply the fundamentals of like all your past fighting game knowledge a lot easier in Granblue than I think Guilty Gear Strive.
But before I go into full Skyfarer mode, let's look at the big picture. There are hundreds of fighting games, new and old, that have a community of online and offline players that would be happy to have you join them and spend your time there. If you're not happy with a popular game you're playing right now, you'll most likely be able to find another game you enjoy with either friends or new people. The last thing we need is another DNF duel situation where every third bad review is about the lack of a player base. Without further ado, my very unsurprising recommendation if you'd like to move a couple steps to the left of Guilty Gear Strive is Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. This is my favorite fighting game to come out in recent years, aside from possibly King of Fighters 15. Its predecessor, Granblue Fantasy Versus, is the exact game I moved on to play a pretty anime fighter with exciting character designs and music. If you prefer your dad rock and belts, that's fair, but I'm personally a much bigger fan of the art direction and setting here. Though all of this footage is about that last game, I'm not so sure our friends here would change their minds.
So one of the things I really like about Granblue is how they actually tried to usher in newer players. So what they did in Granblue was make it so like your special moves and your EXs and so have a hybrid system. You push forward or do a tilt depending on where your terminology comes from and do the special move button, you get a special move. It's a system that really works because if you're having execution issues from the get-go in doing like a particular part of a combo, if you want to, you can just easy input it and that's it.
Definitely give Granblue Fantasy Versus a try. Like a lot of people say like it's too slow or whatever, but I honestly feel like people need to learn how to play slow. Like a lot of like fighting game players, like they kind of skip over like fundamentals, I feel like. So I feel like while yes, it is slower, I feel like that's still going to give you like valuable skills that you can transfer to any fighting game.
Being somebody who played a good amount of the actual like Granblue like mobile game, like it's fun to see like all these characters get in and like play, like see how they play.
So the things that I like about Granblue are that situations can kind of snowball in a different way than other games. You just like, it's not the same kind of pressure that you have from other games where you can just, constantly use the same strategy and you can approach them. You have to change the way that you approach certain characters, or you have to use neutral a lot more to win games and win sets than you do in other games, because you can't just, use the same move over and over again due to the cooldown system. It's interesting because the neutral is probably the thing that's the most fun. You feel like the buttons you use are powerful. You feel like the moves that you're using are powerful, and they have a lot of different utility to them. And it feels like there's it's easier to see than other games, but the depth is there, right? The way that you go about using and approaching certain things is there, and you can make it. You can play the way that you want to in neutral, and you can change the way that you approach certain tactics in neutral. You don't have to do it the same way as other people.
I'm gonna be honest. Games has almost never missed. I have never seen a Games game fail before. And although Granblue Fantasy might have been their outlier, we know that they are about to overhaul the entire game, and you know damn well they are not letting it happen again.
I think every fighting game fan owes it to themselves to play Granblue at least a little bit. It's got a super in-depth story mode. It's actually really interesting. It's only the third fighting game that I ever actually completed the story mode for. It's got a bunch of like colors, and you can like customize your weapons, so you could express yourself through that avenue. And the characters themselves, there's such a wide variety of characters that I think everybody can find at least, I'll say at least 2 characters that they can really like vibe with. And I think that that's probably the strongest point for Granblue.
But what if you're just like me and can't find a character you like in this game? Well, we've got some ideas for you.
So in Granblue, the character that I played the most is Vera. Her playstyle of like getting in, getting the grab, tricking the person to get the grab, and then now it's time to now we're playing with power, and being able to do so many tricky things off of the small leap from your winged companion. Like being able to do all of that, and then also the insanity of the character is pretty fun too.
I mean, I know I play her, but fuck. Meta are kind of bad though. Like shit.
So in Granblue, I play Lancelot. I'm not very good with mix-up characters. I have to be constantly trying to predict my opponent's moves. But even when I'm not good at mixing things up, I still enjoy how he plays because he's fast-paced, he's flashy, he's doing backflips. Like, if I'm getting bodied and I'm still jumping around, I'm having a good time.
So my favorite character to play in Granblue is currently Percival. I really like the character. I feel like he's super cool. He has a move that changes all of the properties of his other move, his down special. And he has stocks in it, right? So every time that you use a special, when you have a stock, it's enhanced, right? And it uses a stock. Once it's gone, it goes back to normal. But the fact that you can do stuff like that is really cool. And it makes me have to think more about when I use that move, or if I should use the EX version and give myself 3 stocks instead of just 1. That all is really interesting to me.
My favorite character in Granblue is definitely Ladiva. I'm a sucker for grapplers, and I think that she just is super positive all the time, and I'm a sucker for that trope. And just like every time she introduces herself to like another character or talks to any other character, it's always like in a very uplifting way. And I think that that's just nice to have in a fighting game.
I think my favorite character would probably just be Gran, to be honest. Like, I don't know, Gran's just like, he's just what a Shoto should be. Like, not too complicated at all. He's got the fireball. He's got decent damage. And he's got Tims. Like, that's sick as fuck. But no, he's just sick. I don't know. He's just cool. Like, he's kind of a Gary Stu, but who the fuck cares? Like, every character or every game's gonna have one of those. So
Coming in from Strive, got you covered there too.
So, bros, just pick Grant. He's like launch day soul.
So if you bought the DLC and you like Baiken, but you want to play a slightly less nerfed version of Baiken, I would lean more so to Narmia. Mostly because like there is a lot of defensive play inside of her playset, but then also you can go in and you don't have to worry about running into a wall basically when trying to do like more aggressive stuff with her, because you have options, and that is one of the most powerful things that she has.
Off the top of my head, if you play Chip, you'll like Lancelot. Man's is fragile, but boy, is he going to do backflips all over the place. It is great.
My main in Granblue Fantasy Versus is Ladiva. I play with other characters, but Ladiva's my main go-to. I love her. I love the grappler archetype. I'm not a big fan of wrestling, but she just brings so much personality to it that she makes me a fan of wrestling. And I think anybody who enjoys using Potemkin, obviously, grappler to grappler, I think Ladiva is a very good fit. They kind of share similar movements in their approach. Is just but Ladiva, like every other character, I think Ladiva just has more nuance and more things you can have fun with than Potemkin does in Strive.
All right, if you were to take my main from Strive and pick a character that's similar in Granblue, I'd definitely say Lancelot. Lancelot definitely has a lot of things similar to Leo in terms of his game plan. Like, in terms of mix-up, he definitely has a lot of left-right stuff. So, like, if you're used to, like, doing, doing Zwei, Zwei side switch with Leo, you got things like his teleport for, like, stuff like that. And he's definitely got a lot of, like, and even his projectile game is definitely very similar to like Leo's. It's slower, so like it gives you time to like run up against it and like get some follow up afterwards. So, and all in all, I'd say definitely like Lance.
Okay, so if I had to pick a character that I felt was similar to a character in Guilty Gear and Granblue, I probably would say if you play Chip, and you like really high movement, character that would be really good is Lancelot. You could also try Six. They're really good characters, and I feel like their high mobility will really help in, sliding you into the game because you're used to playing a high octane character like Chip. If you're good with like longer reaching normals and confirming off of them into big buttons, say Soul Bad Guy or Kai Kisuke, then you probably would really like Percival. Percival has really strong buttons. He has a really strong fireball. He has a great DP as well. And he can also cash out into huge amounts of damage. If you like being able to armor through moves like you do with Potemkin, and also being able to grab people and set up like mix-ups, you might really like Fasaraga. Fasaraga is a really strong character as well, and you might also like Ladiva. Ladiva is a very strong grappler character too.
I'm hoping you can take something else away today than the idea that Guilty Gear Strive sucks. I'm hoping after today, all you're hearing is...
Play Granblue.
You should totally play more Granblue, and you should totally play Granblue over at twitch.tv/J10B2.
Fighting games suck. Play Mahjong Soul. Buy Granblue Fantasy Versus.
You need to play Granblue right now.
So you see this shit right here? You see this right here? Yeah, I have this for a reason. This is the Platinum Edition. You should fucking play this game. Granblue Fantasy Versus is just good. It's just good. It's just good. You don't have to really say anything else. It's a fun game to play. You can often find it for hella cheap. There's a new version coming out that's going to have some new wild shit in it. Just play it. Just fucking play it. Just play it.
So if you're interested in playing a game that rewards your passions, that has a humongous community following, that has great amounts of depth, that will give you hours and hours of fun, then I think you need to get on the boat. I think you need to take to the sky, Skyfarers, and I think that you need to play some Granblue Fantasy Versus. I'll see you in the skies, and let's have some battles, folks.
Gamers, help. I'm being held at fucking gunpoint. Kelly is going to kill me. You need to play Granblue Fantasy. I don't want him to pull the trigger. Please do it. He is... Please.
Play Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising.